up, hill travelers? Mark here with Wolters. Today we're here in Bratislava at the Bratislava Castle. And today we're going to talk about are some of the unwritten rules that tourists need to know when they come here to Bratislava and have a fantastic visit when they come here. But don't worry, there's so many fantastic things to do and see when you're here. You'll have a great time no matter what. And I want to talk with this first unwritten rule. And I'm going to tell you this. Don't just come to Bratislava for a day trip from Vienna, because a lot of people, they'll take like the hour-long train or the hour-long bus from Vienna, come here for a cheap day of eating and drinking, and then head back to Vienna. Honestly, the city is worth spending a few days in because you have tons of churches you can go visit. The Blue Church is just gorgeous to see from the outside and inside. And it also has funky hours, so it's kind of a little bit hard to get in sometimes. The castle, yes, you have Bratislava Castle here, or you've got Devon Castle, which is really up the river. You can go and see that. Museums, national museums you can see here, art museums, all kinds of fun stuff you can see and do when you're here in activities. So it's not just a day trip from Vienna, okay? So that's the first unwritten rule. Everyone thinks it's just that day trip. No, you can do a bunch more. But I think an unwritten rule I have to go against that unwritten rule is this. It's okay if you do make it a day trip, because even if you only come for a day, it is worth it, because this city, from when you're seeing the gates of the city, or you can see the wall, the cathedral, just going around and taking in the city, it is beautiful. You can eat really well. You can drink really well. The people, they're going to be friendly to you when you're here. They're going to offer you the plum brandy and all kinds of fun stuff. So you can have a really good time. So if you can only come for a little bit, it's still worth it, because so many people are not getting to Bratislava because they do, Vienna and Budapest, and that's it. And I don't want you to miss out on that. So even if you can only do a half day or, just a day trip from Vienna to do this, please do, because it is so worthwhile. Because I do have another unwritten rule for you. If you come here to Bratislava and you stay the evening, the day trippers are gone. You have the city more to yourself. Now, it's not empty because the locals are still here, but it is one of those cities that really changes overnight. The tourists go back to Vienna and other places, and it's you and the locals, and you really get to enjoy the city, whether you want to go have some pivo, some beer with the guys, or you're going to have some of the fantastic strong cheese, let's say, which I'll talk about later, but it is a really fun place to be in. And the thing is, when you come here to Bratislava, and this is one thing I think you should know about Slovakia in general. An unwritten rule about Slovakia is you're Slovakian, you're proud of Slovakia. However, you don't share that information with anybody, because I'll be honest, the Slovaks, they love the nature here. They love their food. They love their people. They love their country. They love their ice hockey, and they don't really kind of share that. So it's kind of more of a humble kind of thing. So I'll be honest with you, if you're not sure about what to eat, what to drink, what to do when you are here, ask one of the locals, because they want you to enjoy Slovakia, and they'll probably tell you, stay longer, go over to the High Tatras and visit there, go see some of the thousands of caves we have throughout the country and the hundreds of castles you can go see around here, because honestly, this city and this country is great. And it is kind of a unwritten rule that people just don't know about it because you just don't have a ton of tourists. So come and enjoy it. Yes, it is an unwritten rule when you come here to Bratislava that you will go see Chumil and you will get a picture with him. It's required, and it's okay. And don't forget, there's other cool statues around the town you can enjoy as well, but this is the one you have to get. I mean, seriously, the Blue Church is just gorgeous outside, also inside. And what's cool is sometimes when it's actually closed, those doors are open so you can at least see inside to see the blue interior, not just the blue exterior. So, yeah, unwritten rule. Don't be scared. Walk out of the old town for the 10 minutes to actually come to the Blue Church, because it is beautiful. Yeah, the Blue Church gets all the highlights and all the pictures for the postcards and stuff. But I'll be honest with you, the cathedral, a little austere on the outside, but inside is gorgeous. An unwritten rule of Bratislava is don't get confused when they say yes here, because yes is a no, which sounds like a no, but a no means yes. So just be aware of that. Another unwritten rule about Bratislava is there is incredible architecture all over this city, not just in the old town. The thing is, you have more like historic, really cool looking architecture, but also you have some little modern stuff too. That's kind of a fun thing to see. So don't pass up the architecture when you're here, because it is quite beautiful. So another unwritten rule when it comes to alcohol when you're here in Bratislava is this. Their plum brandy, don't ever pass it up. Because one, it's really rude if someone offers you the plum brandy. You should definitely have it. But also, it's really one of those things they're really proud of when you're here, and people will share it with you. If you go to somebody's house, you're taken off, they might offer you a shot. One for the road, I guess, when you're going home. But it is one of those things that are here. And I think another unwritten rule, unwritten drinking rules you should know here in Bratislava. One, you always cheers when you're here, okay? You always want to make sure you're cheersing people. And also, you always make eye contact when you cheers. Otherwise, Not cool, folks, not cool. All right, so remember that. Plum brandy, have cheers. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes they'll go for a little bit stronger stuff than the plum brandy. Jocelyn had an apple one that was quite strong. Now, another unwritten rule when you're coming to Bratislava, and I think this is for Slovakia in general, is no one really expects you to really know any Slovak when you come here. Like, they'll know you'll maybe like try to use some German or maybe some Hungarian or some Czech. And yes, Slovak and Czech are pretty close, but really no one's expecting you to try Slovak or know any Slovak. So it really like wows them when tourists actually try or actually do know a few words. So one I would definitely say I want you to know is Dobry den. And Dobry den is like good day. And you're going to say that whenever you go into a shop, whenever you go into the restaurant, when you hop on a tram or you hop on a bus, you say Dobry den. They're like, oh, the foreigner is trying to speak a little Slovak. And it really like cheers them up, so that's really nice. But some other nice words you can do, like prosim, which is, please, you can do that. Dziękuję, which is thank you. Like dziękuję, like dziękuję. I mean, I've said it both ways. They're always so nice. Like you tried, but you have that. Saying the thank you goes a long way. But just knowing the Dobry den, I think, is one of those things that makes life a little bit easier, especially to go in the shops on the busy days when there's a lot of day trippers here. Because when you get there in the evening time, you say it again, they're like, it's not really evening, but you tried. And it really does open them up and gets them to share more. So that's one of those unwritten things. They know you don't speak Slovak, but they really appreciate when you try. And if you can't do anything else, just remember you're like a pirate when you're here and say ahoy. Because ahoy just means hello. And you can just do it that way. So you're just like a little pirate Slovak saying ahoy to say hi. And they'll appreciate it. Now, there are a couple unwritten rules when it comes to public transportation when you come here to Bratislava. One, please, for the love of God, validate your tickets. Well, one, get tickets when taking the buses around, right? Or but also validate your tickets because there are people that are checking to make sure you validated your tickets, and pretending like you're a stupid tourist and didn't know is not going to fly. They will fine you, and they will find you to fine you. So make sure you do validate your tickets when you're getting on. Also, another unwritten rule when you're on public transportation, when you're here in Bratislava, is shh, be quiet on the public transportation. The locals like a little more chillax on the public transportation than some other places, so just be aware of that. Remember those two unwritten rules about public transportation here in Bratislava, and you'll be just fine. Now, another unwritten rule I want to talk about is comparing Slovakia to Czechia. And I'm going to tell you, in general, they don't get so upset by it. I mean, they're kind of like the brotherly love, but they're like the brothers that really like each other, so it's not like that big of a deal. But I will say the unwritten rule is if you're going to talk about the Czech Republic and say nice things about the Czech Republic, make sure you say nicer things about Slovakia, and make sure you mention that Slovakian ice hockey is 10,000 times better than loser Czech hockey, okay? But in all honesty, there is a difference between Czechia and Slovakia. I would say Slovakia in general, whereas Czech Republic's more about beer. Here, they're more about spirits. Here, I would definitely say people are a little more conservative, a little more Catholic. When you are here, a little more traditional when you are here. So something to kind of know when you are here, because it is a little bit more conservative when you're going out, when you're doing things here in Bratislava and Slovakia overall versus the Czech Republic. So just a little heads up on that. But you can talk about it. It's okay. Now, another unwritten rule I have for you when you're coming here to Bratislava is that Monday is kind of a slow day for tourists because museums are closed. Heck, even some of the, like little cafes are closed. So do be aware of that. And on Sunday, guess what? A lot of the shops are closed. So do kind of plan that out when you're thinking about your souvenir purchasing, or you're going to be seeing some sites and stuff like that. So maybe see the sites on Sunday and then do your shopping on Monday. Now, if you want to have something that's from local around here, don't forget to have the kofola. This is basically the Coke from back in the day. It does taste a bit different. Liam was not a fan. It is definitely more of a bittery kind of thing than a very super sweet drink, so just be aware of it.
I love it.
She loves it. Now, a little unwritten rule when you're coming to Bratislava, if you want the best views of the old town, it's actually not in the old town. You want to go to the other side of the river, and then you can see the old town, and it is fantastic to see it from over there. Also, the UFO bridge, or you'll see it online, the UFO bridge, unwritten rule, it's UFO, not UFOs, so just know that. And also, there's a little restaurant up there you can go see, or they go to the observation tower and take a look, which is really cool. And if I'm talking about restaurants, I think another unwritten rule I need you to know is, yeah, you're not going to get fast, prompt, attentive service when you're here in Bratislava. It's not really a thing here. So you might have to remind them that, hey, that beer I ordered, could I get that? That extra pivo, could I get that? Or maybe you're going to have to ask them, hey, could you please bring the bill for me? Because I wouldn't say they're not professional in their service. I'll just say they're not super efficiently quick in getting your order taken and bringing back to you. So when you go to the restaurants, whether it's wherever you're going to go, you got to go to the Slovak restaurants when you're here. You're going to eat great Slovakian food when you're here. But I want to tell you, one of the unwritten rules is, as a non-Slovak, you might not be super impressed with the national dish. However, I do recommend you get it because I actually really like it. The brędzowi haluszki, I know I'm totally butchering it. Basically what it is, you're looking at little potato dumplings, like little potato gnocchi. You have that. It has this sheep cheese in it, which is, it can be a bit powerful, like pack a little punch with it. But honestly, how it works with the gnocchi, and then they put the big old good old bacon bits in there too. Oh my gosh, it is so tasty, but it is not for everyone. Some people don't like it. Everyone I know like it. Everyone I've eaten it with have liked it, but it is one of those things. Sometimes that strong cheese can be a bit much for some people. So maybe have one of you get it and then see if you like it. Then you can have it again at dinner or the next day when you're here. But honestly, the brędzowi haluszki is one of those things you really have to have. It's an unwritten rule. You got to have the national dish when you're here, or really anywhere you go in Slovakia. It is really kind of a good thing. And whether you're having that, or you're having the pork shank when you're here, or you're having some of the potato pancakes you have when you're here, I mean, there's a lot of great things. And I know I said don't expect super fast, exciting service, but on the other hand, you don't have to worry about anyone rushing you from the table, so you can actually enjoy your meal, enjoy your drinks without getting pushed out the door, which is kind of a nice thing, especially when you come here to enjoy the food, enjoy the atmosphere and the beauty of this city. Now, one unwritten rule about Slovakia in general, but also here in Bratislava, I think every tourist is going to love to hear, is the unwritten rule of you don't really have to worry about your safety when you're in Slovakia or Bratislava, because those pickpockets, those nefarious people, yes, there are some here, but most of them are going to be staying in Budapest and Vienna that gets a lot more tourists. So when you're here, you can be a little bit more relaxed. I mean, obviously use your usual safety, ideas, like put your wallet in your front pocket and pay attention, don't leave your phone out kind of stuff. But in general, unwritten rule here is it is a very safe place to visit, so you don't really have to worry. Good to bring your kids too, because they can run around. Because I'll be honest with you, another unwritten rule about coming here to Bratislava is that it's such a small, compact, historic center. You can walk around no problem, and it's not that big. And it is very friendly for families, which is really kind of a cool thing. That's why you'll see families coming here, and they'll come over from Vienna. They'll come from Budapest. It's a 2-hour, train ride away. You'll see people from all over Slovakia coming here because it's a nice little family destination that you can enjoy as well. And, whether you're going to the Devon Castle or the Bratislava Castle or seeing some of the other things here, it is kind of a nice thing. So you're not worrying about the safety, you can enjoy your family. But another thing I think I want to mention is when you do come here, don't forget the unwritten rule of one, yes, it is the euro here. So if you're coming from Czechia or Poland, you got to get euros. But if you're coming from Austria, you already have it. But the thing is, you want to have some cash when you're here. Now, you can pay with card pretty much all the restaurants. It's not going to be a big deal. However, if you're going to be going to some of the market stalls when you're here, because there are some fun market stalls, or if you come here at Christmas time, you're here for the Christmas markets like we were, you're going to have some cash to pay for those things, but you don't need a lot. And it's euros here, so you probably have some from your coming from Austria, other parts of Europe. So it's not a big deal. But I will say, if you're going to exchange money, I wouldn't exchange money. The unwritten rule is the exchange houses, they're okay, but you'll probably be better off if you actually just go to a local ATM at one of the local banks and use your home debit card there and take out money there. Remember, do not do the conversion. Just let them charge you in euros and you'll be okay. But yeah, you need to have a little bit of cash just for the little bit of things you want to grab when you go around in the market stalls and little snacky do things. So something to kind of think about, because you might want to get one of those sausage when you're walking around. Now, we all know that Bratislava is significantly more affordable than going to Vienna. However, the unwritten rule is you don't tell the locals, oh, this place is so cheap, this place is so affordable, because for the locals, it's not a cheap place to live. It's not an affordable place to live. It's pricey for them. So keep that kind of information to yourself, because we all already know that, but it doesn't help the locals kind of enjoy it because they're not making your kind of money. So just be aware of that. Now, another little unwritten rule I have for you if you're going to be staying here for a while, which I recommend, as you already know, instead of doing the taxis and grabbing the taxis off the street, just download some of the rideshare apps and use the rideshares to get around town, because you want to go to like the more new construction, the malls and stuff. It's going to be a lot easier that way. You're going out to Devon Castle, just do the rideshares. It's going to be a lot easier than doing, taxis and stuff, and less chances of people trying to rip you off because you already know what you're going to pay when you do the ride share. So just something to kind of know about. No one really talks about it, but I think it's an important thing to know. Also, another little factual thing that maybe people don't mention, don't forget Pressburg was actually the German name of Bratislava. I know you got Pressburg bagels here, but in general, stick to Bratislava instead of Pressburg, just FYI. Now, if you want to do some shopping, don't worry. They might not tell you this, but you can do things outside of the old town. And if you're looking for a big mall, there's actually one just right outside the old town. So if you're going for the old town, you're going to go see the Blue Church, just walk a little bit farther. You got a nice big mall here. And if it's cold weather and you want to get your steps in, you could literally just walk back and forth because the mall is huge. And there's other ones across the river, there's one around, but this is the easiest one to get to as a tourist. Now, taking the public transportation, don't forget, you got to get tickets. It looks like you just walk on, but yes, you can walk on, but they have people that do check to make sure you actually did pay, so you don't want that fine. But very easy to get. Put your coins in here, pick the ticket you want, you're fine to go. Some of these have, contactless tap and go payments as well, so there is literally no reason for you not to have a ticket, not be able to figure this out when you're going to go there. What's cool, they have it in Slovak, English, and German, so you should be fine. Oh, and for those of you that like to do the riverboat cruises in Europe, one thing I want to tell you is an unwritten rule is a lot of those Vienna, Budapest ones will actually stop here in Bratislava. So though it's probably not one of the big selling points they're going to give you on your European riverboat cruise kind of thing, it is one of the ones you can really enjoy because it is easy to walk around and it's straight up flat, like walking off the riverboats going into town. It is one of the easier kind of disembarkation places. So no one really tells you about that. Really easy, river stop on the cruises. Yeah, I don't think you really need to have an unwritten rule for this one, but yeah, Flagship is a bit touristy and a bit full, but it's still a fun place to go. And you get a lot of really good Slovak food, so yeah, it's touristy, but unwritten rule, it's still worth it. Oh, and if you're not sure where the bus comes in, because obviously the train comes to the train station, if you're taking that bus from Vienna, it actually comes in here, which looks weird, but you have to realize it's really right next door. Let me show you. Oh, right next door to the cathedral. So it's actually right downtown where it drops you off. So you're not having to come out from a bus station way out in the middle of nowhere. So quite helpful. You're taking that bus in from the airport in Vienna or in Vienna itself. Another unwritten rule, if it is a Friday or especially Saturday night here in Bratislava, expect to see a lot of bachelor parties and bachelorette parties. So there'll be people to have a good time with when you are here. Yeah, also when you're here, though the beer and the spirits are tasty, don't drink out in public, you're not supposed to. And to kind of flip the script when it comes to coming to Bratislava, another unwritten rule I have for you is don't forget, you can make Vienna a day trip from here. So you can stay here in Bratislava and enjoy the people, enjoy the food, enjoy the fun, and then go to the expensive Vienna on a day trip and do that, all right? So I hope this helps you know a little bit more about what you should know that maybe people aren't telling you about coming to Bratislava. So I do hope you enjoy your time here in Bratislava because it is unwritten, but I'm telling you right now, it's a town you will love. And we're back where we started. And I want to say, if you're going to be coming here to Slovakia in general, one of the unwritten rules is really don't call it Eastern Europe. I mean, literally, you just took a train, less than an hour-long train to get here from Vienna, which is considered Western Europe or Central Europe. This is Central Europe, not Eastern Europe. You're not going to make any friends saying that, okay? Though if you do remind them that they did win the Hockey World Championships in, I think, 2002, that will probably help you ingratiate yourself with them, all right? So, what are some of the other unwritten rules about Bratislava that people should know? Let us know in the comments below, and if you want to learn more, maybe what you should eat when you come to Slovakia, maybe the don'ts of visiting Slovakia, check us out on our website at woltersworld.com. We wish you all the best. We'll say bye from here in Bratislava, Slovakia. And hey, if you got some of those unwritten rules, put it down below to help out other travelers. Bye.